Daredevil is finally back again. This time in the Disney Plus show Daredevil Born Again. I've personally been super excited for this show because I'm a big fan of Daredevil. I even have this comic book I just bought. I'm pretty excited about that because apparently it's one of the greatest Daredevil stories ever written. But back to the show, it is one of, if not the greatest superhero show of all time. Step aside, Invincible. We don't accept PNG dragging around here. Why this show was ever canceled to begin with is beyond me, but now that it's finally back, let's talk about it. I'll be reviewing the first 2 episodes. Obvious big spoilers ahead if you haven't seen the show, in which case, what are you doing? Go watch it. A big concern that I had about this show going into it is how will it be able to fill the massive shoes that was the last season of Daredevil. And I'm gonna be honest, off these first 2 episodes, I'm not so sure it has. Now, my opinion on this could definitely change. I mean, again, these are the first 2 episodes. But let's start off with what I liked about the episodes. The budget increase is definitely noticeable. There's a lot of cinematic shots in both episodes, especially episode 1. Some scenes even feel like shots from a full-length film. There's a really cool shot in episode 1 that shows off Matt's heightened senses by switching up the aspect ratio. Something like, but obviously better. Something else that was really cool was that we finally got a Daredevil v Bullseye fight right off the bat. Bullseye was one of my favorite parts of season 3, so it's so cool to see him back in a proper suit this time. He's such a crazy character and he's just a killing machine. I'll admit though, the fight scene was a little hard to follow because there was like all these flashing lights and like fog everywhere. It was really cool to see those iconic Daredevil fight scenes again. The camera work was also really good during this fight. The whole time the shot is coming through the whole bar. There's like go through the doors at some point, like it goes up the stairs. There's fog everywhere. There's lights going off. It's crazy. They are making Daredevil a lot more acrobatic, which I actually really like. Even though in other seasons he was doing crazy stunts and backflips and stuff like that, I feel like this time around they're really trying to show off the acrobatic side of Daredevil that we haven't really seen a lot of. I also really like seeing Kingpin back. Vincent D'Onofrio is honestly up there for all-time greatest portrayals of a villain. There's also a really cool Easter egg that I noticed in episode 2 where he mentions Spider-Man. I have a feeling that Spider-Man might make a small appearance in this show. I mean, we just saw Daredevil in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. It's not crazy to say that Spider-Man might be in Daredevil.
That's
It's
not
not
ridiculous
crazy to
to
say
say
that. Although I'm not sure if they could pull it off organically, it would be a cool thing to see. And maybe we could finally see Spider-Man fighting some street level crime. Also, shout out to the police commissioner for calling Fisk out on his bullshit. I felt like I was crazy for thinking, how is the biggest crime boss in New York, fresh out of prison, running for mayor, and people are just okay with it? Everyone's like, yeah, I'll vote for him. But this guy seemed like the only sane person in New York who actually remembered all the things Fisk did as well as all his previous crimes. Now onto the stuff I didn't like. I hate that they killed Foggy. Foggy was one of the best characters in the show. He was there through every season. Season 1 through 3. He was even in Defenders. I think he was also in Luke Cage. And not only did they kill Foggy, they killed him within the first 15 minutes of the first episode. They made him all sexy. They gave him a beard. He was having fun with Karen and Matt. All that to get shot and killed by Bullseye. And it all happened so suddenly. I feel like he didn't get the proper death he deserved. He was just shot and killed right off the bat, and it just doesn't sit right with me. Whole time I was thinking, there's no way he's actually dead, right? This has to be like a dream sequence or something. But no, he's actually dead. I really don't like that they killed him, and I hate the way they did it. I don't know if they'll somehow justify killing him later in the show, but as of right now, it just doesn't sit right with me. R.I.P. Foggy. Another thing I didn't like, which is more of a nitpick, but it just bugged me. Why is the aspect ratio so weird in this show? I feel like it's really small and like the whole show just looks like, oh shit. There's a shot where it expands for like a second, and in that moment it looks really good. I get to see everything in its full glory. Then it just shrunk again and it really bugged me. And at one point it just became a square. Now I could look past the weird aspect ratio. I'm sure I'll get used to it as the show goes on. But what I can't look past is Wilson Fisk being a cuck. You're telling me that crime boss, Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, the guy that bashed another guy's brains in with a car door, the guy that strangled Ben Urich to death with his bare hands, is just letting his girl get clapped by a random? Are you serious right now? Bro? And then she's all like, don't kill him. And he's all like, okay. Now, I haven't read a lot of the comics, so I'm not sure if this is normal, but season 1 through 3 Kingpin would not let this slide. Bro would have been like Punisher did that Irish gang in season 2. Shoot that boy in the head. Shoot that boy in the head. Now on to the absolute worst part of both these episodes. This meat writer, Daniel Blake. Bro, this guy only had like 20 minutes of screen time and I already hate him. From the first moment he comes on screen, he's glazing Fisk and talking about memes. Reminds me of a certain someone in the real world right now. I already hate him, and I just know he's gonna be annoying as shit the rest of the show. But other than that, that's about all I have to say about the first two episodes of Daredevil Born Again. Now, I'm not gonna jump to conclusions and say that this isn't as good as previous seasons, because again, it's only the first two episodes. The tone of the previous seasons is definitely there, which I can really appreciate, because I was really nervous that Disney would fumble these first two episodes, because they could just never do a serious show or movie. It's always gotta be a joke. But as of right now, I think I'm okay with what's gone down so far. I think I'm just salty about Foggy still. And I hope that they have a really good reason for killing him off, because if they don't, that's gonna be really bad for the show. They don't even really go that much into his death after they kill him, which is really concerning, but I'm sure it'll be connected to the climax of the show somehow. But I guess we'll just have to see how the rest of the show plays out, and I'm really excited to see what happens next.
That boy in the head. No. Shoot that boy in the head. Shoot that boy in the head.